Hey nerds, and welcome to the Gutter. My name is Steve-O. These are the Gutter Nerds. Joining me today is Corporate Cal. Over here is Alex.
Hello.
Bree Senpai.
Hello.
And Raven One.
Howdy.
Do you ever change your name?
No, not yet.
You're still Raven One lead?
Yeah.
Okay.
Raven 1 lead, yeah.
Rave None led.
I wanted to change it just to Raven 1. That's not available. So Raven lead is available. So I was thinking about that. But like there's a lot of...
Right,
there's a lot of...
Today we're going to be talking about Avengers Endgame, and I'm letting you guys know now that we are in spoiler country. We have taken the bullet train to spoiler country. We got the passport to spoiler country. We're taking up residence in spoiler country.
It's happening.
The visas will not expire for some time. So if you don't want to know anything about Avengers Endgame, then go the fuck away.
Yeah.
Get parachute off our plane like Fortnite.
Should we start strong?
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
All right, yeah, we'll start.
spoiler country.
Well,
you just go around-
We're
we
not
need
gonna
to give
do-
them a couple seconds to like...
Hey.
Get their shit together
Yeah.
to realize how serious we are.
We're in spoiler town.
spoilers.
Okay, we've taken off the fisticuffs. Okay?
I'm not going to ask you guys what you've been playing because we actually have a lot of shit to cover, and I have a feeling I'm going to be talking a lot about this movie.
Yeah.
So whatever you have been playing, I hope you've been having fun with it.
I've been playing
Yeah.
No Man's Sky just real quick. It's nice.
Oh.
Okay, I was actually watching some No Man's Sky on stream
Yeah, it's
earlier
really
this
fun.
week, and it actually looks like a lot of fun.
Hop
now.
back on. Just saying.
Yeah.
Right now it's time.
The Elite Dangerous guys.
It's fine. You don't have to.
This is weird because
But I stayed with them since they came out.
Dano is normally the guy that if there is a popular thing, he likes the unpopular version of that thing. Mm-hmm. Right? And this is sort of flip-flopped because Elite Dangerous is like the premier flight space sim, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
He goes, no.
But it's not the popular one. No Man's Sky is the popular one.
No Man's Sky is actually not popular. I don't know.
I thought
don't
No
know
Man's
who
Sky
told you
is
that.
now in but it had
No
gone
Man-
through its
Okay, so if you
Shit,
just go up
right?
to a gamer and you say
sidetracking.
No Man's Sky, they're like, oh
sidetracking.
yeah, I've heard of that. I played it. It sucked. Oh yeah, it's really good now. Like they have heard of it. If you go up to a gamer and say Elite Dangerous, 75% have never even heard of it.
Yeah,
I still don't know what
I
it
don't
is.
know what
See?
that
I mean,
is.
to be honest.
But
God damn it, guys! You fucking you took my. I tried to get him.
We all talk-
no, Elite Dangerous is
I
the
tried to get him.
better, less popular version, so it fits right into the Raven 1
I don't know. You've never even given it a chance. No Man's Sky is actually really fun.
Oh, JB says Gutter Nerds assemble already. Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was prank.
First of all, I also want to congratulate recent graduate Bree Senpai
Oh, thanks.
for graduating.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it was fun.
Was it fun? Did you party afterwards? Did you
Oh,
do something crazy?
no, we
Did you go to Mount Asia?
No, we went to Cheddar's and that was it.
That's cool.
Waited like an hour and a half just to eat.
Did you go and be like, "Hey, I just fucking graduated"? Like you would have said, Bree would have said, "Excuse
really
me,
funny.
y'all, I just graduated and I'm not about this poop soup."
Right.
So if you can-
And it was funny because the girl I sat next to, I didn't even know who she was. Like, never had met her. And she was like really cool. And she was like, because the graduation was like 3 hours long. And then she was like, yo, there's like 4 rows left. She was like, and we're going to Cheddar's after this. I was like, oh, snap. So is my family. I was like, oh, snap. Saw her there. I was like, sat down before her. I was like, oh, God. But it was really fun. I had a good time.
Okay, so I think we've given people enough time.
Yeah.
So now you want to go hard? You want to go hard away.
Who's sad? Tony Stark is dead. Who's sad? Where was the
Tony
tears?
Stark's dead.
Who cried?
Captain
I
America.
cried.
Who cried? I cried.
I'm not gonna lie, I
Tony Stark's
cried.
dead.
Hard.
Steve Rogers retired. Was able to
We'll call it
lift.
retired.
Was able to lift Mjolnir.
Yeah.
What's all the weird, crazy shit?
Multiverse now exists.
That's Spider-Man.
This
That
is
is
the-
all of Marvel.
It's all.
That is
But
all
that's not the
Marvel.
same
Yeah.
thing.
The multiverse now exists.
It exists.
But that's not the
There's
same
other
thing.
reasons. Let me explain. There's other reasons why it exists.
And it's going to be shown off more in the new Spider-Man movie.
Because
Yeah.
it's Spider-Man.
No.
It would make no sense.
No.
It's still in the family.
The
It's
so
still in
Still in
the...
the same
Marvel
universe.
comic-wise, the Marvel multiverse, DC utilizes
Coach
their
cried.
multiverse way more than Marvel ever did. But there is still a multiverse that exists in Marvel, and Endgame set up the explanation for how and why the multiverse exists perfectly. And then with the new Spider-Man coming out that
It will
deals in
complete
it, it's like, oh, okay. They are moving. Yes, they are
Stage
doing the
4.
multiverse. Yes.
Okay, I guess. So the way that I read it was like, and we'll touch on this in a little bit. The Infinity Stones create time as it exists in a timeline. That's what the lady was saying on the rooftop to Bruce Banner.
Well, just
was
time
like-
in general.
I thought she was just talking about time.
Yeah, she's
Just
talking about time in general.
Just time in general.
And
Time goes.
Sure.
If you like remove the stones or go back and do something or whatever, it creates
The parallel.
Yes.
nothing. You can't affect the future like in Back to the Future,
Right.
but it just creates different branches.
Right, which makes the Captain America thing stupid.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
I was going to get
you
to
go
that,
back
too.
and
Yeah,
but as
'cause,
long
like,
as you
was
go
he
back and
just,
put
like,
the stones in
waiting
place,
there?
everything is
Like behind the trees, and then he was like, "I'm old. I'm gonna come sit down." Like I was so confused.
Right.
Why he was there so quickly?
So the way that they set up the existence of their multiverse and how time travel is going to work was like perfect. I was like, okay, sweet. They're not going to have to deal with any of the Back to the Future.
They
Like,
tied everything up pretty well.
yeah, like pretty much they can go back in time, they can go forward in time, they can do whatever they want, and the
Nothing
only effect
affects
it does-
anything.
Yeah, nothing affects the main storyline. It'll just spawn a new multiverse.
Okay.
which is
Okay, I see
which
what you're
is
saying.
is solid string theory. Like that is all not
So-
as solid of sciences can exist. But then when Steve Rogers is old in that timeline, it completely
Fucks everything
Fucks
up.
Not
their
just
entire-
old in that timeline. It is old in that timeline, and all the carnage that was behind there before. It's all a serene, gentle pool in the background. If you didn't notice
Oh.
that, it is stupid.
I mean,
it pissed me off. I was like, wow, there's all this big old fight, and now that Steve Rogers is like there, it was all gone.
I don't know that didn't bug me.
Yeah,
I didn't
because
notice that as
That's what
much.
that's what you're saying.
It did bump.
So-
didn't necessarily have to
Screen-wise, yeah.
I'm going to try and take this one step at a time because
Yeah.
these conversations tend to go absolutely wild and bonkers. So who did cry? Because to me, and JB said he did. To me, Infinity War was a much more affective movie than Endgame was. I thought Endgame was I liked Endgame. I liked it a lot. I thought it was very satisfying. But after the first 20 minutes, I was like, okay, this is basically on rails. This is the way it had to be.
Like-
as
Yeah.
opposed to Infinity War going like, oh shit, you know what I mean?
and I
Like,
preferred Infinity War way better.
Really?
so
Yeah.
I'll
Because
ask you guys
Thanos
this.
is beautiful.
He was-
is a wonderful villain.
Yeah.
And I hate the fact that this movie made him not the villain.
Made him
But
like
he
made him a
had-
cartoon. He's more of a cartoon villain in this movie than the
but like when he
thoughtful-
sat down and he was like, "I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna wait," I was like, "Yes, do that." God,
So-
I'm ready. But like they just ruined him for me.
So what was the overall impression then? Before we get into start nitpicking, what was your overall impression of Endgame, Cal?
I thought it was great. I thought
Yeah.
it closed some doors. I thought it opened some new doors, and I was thoroughly
You're all about
satisfied.
doors in this one.
I'm all about doors,
All about
right?
doors.
But I enjoyed myself. I mean, like as soon as it started, I actually saw it at 2:30 in the morning. With
Yeah.
oh yeah, it was late. We saw it real late, and we didn't stop. It didn't stop once the train started for me, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I wasn't like bored at any point. I wasn't upset. I mean, of course, I cried.
You didn't have to pee.
I didn't have to pee, thank God. The part that got me the most is when he was talking to Iron Man's daughter. She's like, "I'll get you all the cheeseburgers."
Was it about the
I
cheeseburgers?
was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, cheeseburgers."
Yeah,
But-
I think Sarah cried at the
Okay, so yeah, I want
cheeseburgers,
to hear when everyone
But
cried.
yeah, I thoroughly was all on board on that. movie.
I never had that moment. I did in Infinity War
Okay.
when Peter said, "I don't want to go."
God, please don't. God, my
I was like,
Spider-Man.
shit.
That killed every moment inside of
but
me.
in Endgame, I was like,
And then
okay. I will. What about you?
I teared up whenever their reunion with Iron Man and Spider-Man, and
yeah, that was good too.
that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just so emotional for me. I was like, this. I mean, everything was just like building up
like
to
my
that,
baby
and at
boy
that
is
point, I
born.
was just like, this is so fucking awesome.
So a quick thing that JB brings up. I had someone that I actually like very much on Twitter was saying that they did not appreciate the way that Thor's sort of depression and weight gain was played for laughs, and I was like, okay, yeah, I get that.
I didn't see
However,
it that way though.
What JB is saying is that the point though, like when he gets like his axe and Mjolnir and everything, and he lightnings up and gets his armor, his body doesn't change. He's still a bigger
fat.
dude.
Yeah.
He's still fat.
But
Thor.
But he's still, like what JB said,
Well,
your depression does
and
not
I
make
had-
you unworthy. Like,
Yeah.
you are still
I saw that.
Hey, Deja.
amazing. And so I thought that was, like, really rad.
And I had read up on more about him being that way because it was actually really unexpected. Like, they weren't going to make him that way. And then they decided to. Because I was like, that's got to be a fat suit. Like, he did not gain that much weight. And it was because it was unexpected. And
Right,
for
yeah.
me, I don't think they ever made his depression humorous. I feel like people were just trying to be there for him because no one ever laughed at him or anything.
Well, I mean, Rocket said you look like melted ice cream.
Yeah, but that's Rocket though. But like generally,
and
whenever
Iron
he
Man-
went up there,
You're saying that characters maybe poked fun at him, but we were not supposed to think, haha, what a fucking fat loser or anything like that.
The community for him is really happy. Like everyone's really excited that they did that, and that's how you can feel when you're depressed.
Yeah, like so.
Hi, Penis Locust.
I could see somebody watching the movie and thinking that they're making fun of it because Thor is ridiculous when he's depressed Thor and is kind of a caricature of a depressed person.
Right.
And then like you do have people like Rocket making fun of him, but
I don't think he was making fun of him.
if you
No.
Rocket was making fun of him, but
Yeah.
Rocket makes fun of everybody
Iron Man
for
ma-
everything.
I-
So he
Iron-
wasn't making fun of a depressed person.
Yeah.
Iron Man
He
made
was
fun
just
of him too.
he was just poking at his buddy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
For me, it was just
What's that damn
it was
none
like
of
a
them-
lightheartedness.
Yeah.
Like
But-
it wasn't a way to like hurt him. It was like you
Right,
can do
exactly.
this.
That-
Like
that's point-
we know
that's
you're
the
sad, but you can do this.
Right.
Right. So like, if you just watched Endgame and you didn't know about any of the characters, then I could see somebody being upset by how they played.
Being like that, that's not fair. Like,
Yeah.
be feeling a little bit like, okay.
But like, if you saw Ragnarok and you saw Infinity War and you saw Thor's humor,
Well, and has
then like it's still consistent.
yeah.
And if you ever saw Guardians, then Rocket is still like everybody's completely consistent throughout.
So, America's
I like that
ass,
too.
says Trexis. She got her
That
USA
really
Lady
got
Boy.
me.
America's ass
I didn't understand why that was such a big thing.
But also 2 Avengers ago, Steve was like, Tony language, and in this movie he's like, yeah, I'd fucking tap myself.
But yeah, I think that's also part of Steve's arc because there's that time where he meets his old self. And, he's like, oh, I can do this all day. He's like, okay, yeah, whatever. Oh, my God. Oh, I'm such a tool.
But this is so, to me, I always joke about how in all of these movies, in pretty much any Avengers movie ever, they will find a way to make Avengers fight each other. In the first Avengers, I was like, oh, for Christ's sake. Especially in the very first Avengers 2012, I was like, this is crap. Where like Cap and Thor are fighting because Thor's trying to take Loki.
Oh,
and
yes.
Cap's like, you're not
Okay.
taking him. Like, okay. And then even by the time we get to Civil War, I'm like, okay, you guys have been doing this the whole time. This is not
All
new
you
to
do.
me. Just make the movie about it. And so in this one, though, I was like, where's the Avengers going to fight the Avengers in this one? It being Cap v. Cap actually made my day. I was like, there we go. That's fun. Like, that's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so your overall impression. You said you liked it. Overall impression.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I loved it. It was perfect, and I kind of liked how everything wrapped up perfectly, and it still kind of gave I guess some material that they can use in the future.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's completely done. And
Bree?
so it'd be nice.
I liked it. I think it was really good. I feel like they opened too many doors. Like, I don't know. I just feel like they went a little too far with some of the stuff, but a lot of it was just fan service to me and stuff we have already seen in a way.
And I'm going to touch on that a little bit.
But like other than
It-
that, they did it very well.
It is a pander fest.
Yeah.
Like friggin' pander bears, right?
Yeah. And so, but it was really good.
Raven, overall impression of the film?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
If it gets released on Netflix and I go back to watch it again, I'm not starting from the beginning. I'm starting probably an hour in.
Right? I feel like you didn't need
What?
that much in the
What?
beginning. Like, oh my
I
god.
disagree.
It
was all needed.
Like, kind of sets up the
It sets up
scene.
everything. It's
No,
a
no, okay,
building.
okay.
It's a slow simmer boil.
Here's what I'm saying. I don't think that you're wrong because all through the beginning, where I wasn't bored, I didn't feel like it was dragging, but I just kept thinking to myself, like, okay, how could we move this along? Like, what could I cut out? I couldn't pinpoint any one thing I cut out.
It's sort of Battlestar Galactica's you, where they spend a lot of time on character development,
Yeah.
which isn't a bad thing necessarily, but it's just like
But
you guys have got a lot to do. are you gonna do it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And so, like, if I'm rewatching it and I've already seen the character development, I'm starting about an hour in, where like the plot really starts to move. Like, I honestly, like, and I'm the biggest Star Wars fan there is, but honestly, sometimes when I rewatch A New Hope,
A New Hope is the hardest rewatch.
Yeah.
It's harder to watch A New Hope actually than it is to watch Episode 1.
It's
yeah,
so slow.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, so I'll start A New Hope maybe 30 minutes in, every now and then.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm such a Star Wars fan that
Sure.
even the slow
Right.
parts I'll watching it. But like, yeah, it's the same thing. Like,
I agree with you on that. Trexis loves the Cap moments. She choked up during the Cap moments. And JB just watches the last bit of Jurassic World now these days.
I thought of the movie that Iron Man called Thor. He calls him
Lebowski.
Lebowski.
Yeah.
He calls him Lebowski.
Yeah.
Like, so he was poking fun at him, but it was what's up, Lebowski?
That was
hilarious.
Yeah, but even that poke was like the way he was dressing and
sunglasses
his
and-
like
Yeah.
it wasn't
Oh, yeah.
It
like,
wasn't so much
oh
of his
wow, you
mental
really let
state.
yourself
Oh, not
go
mental,
or anything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But it was
Okay, so I'm gonna get to the social media reactions. I asked for everybody's most nitpicky gripes about this, and then I'll ask you guys yours, and you guys in chat, I'll ask for yours as well. So some of these may touch on what you guys had, and then we'll respond to each one and let me know how, if you think this is legit a gripe. Chris Miller on Facebook says his biggest gripe was that the Defenders were not in it. Basically, they didn't tie in the Marvel Netflix stuff into the movie.
that's kind of-
Is that a bummer, or do you give any kind of a shit?
Well,
No.
so
it's a bummer.
I mean, it's a bummer, but kind of at the same time, it's like, I mean, I guess they already had so many superheroes on the roster. They did add Jarvis though, which is from Shield. So
Yeah.
they did make that connection between TV
to the
and-
ABC series,
Right.
though, not to the Netflix stuff.
Right.
The
Yeah.
movies in Netflix have the only like crossover at all is like in season 1 of Daredevil when they reference the New York attack.
Yeah.
there are in maybe not in all of them, but in a few of them there are references.
Yeah.
In Jessica Jones, I know that there's a reference. I don't remember specifically what or where.
Attack and I know exactly.
But yeah, like there's in a few of them there are references. I feel like, and it was probably just a logistical thing, but I do think that they should have that Doctor Strange, like even if they were in nowhere else in the movie except the very last fight scene. Like, if you just and maybe they are. Maybe we need to go back and watch.
Rewatch it.
But like, that's what I would
million fucking
like,
people.
if they were there.
And props to that scene. That is and I don't know a lot about comics. I wasn't a huge comic reader as a kid, but I can recognize a two-page splash.
Yeah.
When I fucking see one,
Yep.
and I was like,
that
"Wow,
was
that's
perfect.
the movie version of the two-page like battle in a comic,
Yeah,
right?"
yeah.
When like Captain America and
It was
Thor
just
or
like
Thanos.
everybody coming,
Yeah.
Hello, I have the Defenders show up and get killed off. Is what Hardliner. Hello, welcome to the gutter. Show up and get killed off. Yeah. There we go. This is how we end the Netflix sagas.
And we're done with these.
I didn't need them.
I didn't need them either.
I didn't need them in there.
I didn't need them. It
would've been nice,
but I
yeah.
think it would have been cool because I think that Doctor Strange would have like gathered everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's also kind of a poke that they even made at themselves in the movie whenever his apprentice, I forgot his name, mentioned, when Doctor Strange was like, well, did you bring everybody? And, and the doctor was like, who else did you
need
expect?
more?
Or,
Yeah.
do you need more?
Oh, that's the reference.
Yeah.
So yeah, they are referenced in the film.
be, yeah.
There you go, Chris. Yeah, that was it. Okay, so Nick Rainoni said that the setting for the final battle in Infinity War was amazing. The Wakanda background and the trees and the forest and everything. It had a great sense of scale. It was beautiful. The ending of Endgame, the final battle, sucked because it is just wasteland.
It's
it could have been
unrecognizable, yeah.
any unrecognizable
It was
DC.
To me,
Avengers
that's the
headquarters.
point.
Yeah, but
it
you
was supposed to be
once
like
once it's
an
destroyed
ending of an era.
Sure, but once it's destroyed, there's no iconic Avengers stuff, and it is
That's
just
because it's
dirt.
destroyed.
Right.
Right, and that's bad because it doesn't give you a sense of scale of how big the battlefield is
Yeah.
of what's going
Over
on.
the
I
past
can
couple of
understand.
movies, so it
Like-
shows you the scale of how big that area is and how big their HQ was.
But that battle, because it was destroyed, if that battle hadn't happened there, if let's say Doctor Strange teleported them all to just an empty field,
Vormir.
yeah, or another planet,
Yeah.
we would not.
It would look exactly
It would have
the same.
been exactly the
The
same.
same.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was like like he said, like Alex said, like it's ending. Like that's it. Like now we have all these new people coming in. Like I just felt like it was necessary for it to be that way.
Yeah. To me, it just looked like the movie equivalent of Final Destination, no items. It's like they're like FD, Final Destination for the final battle, right? Just flat plane, Smash Bros. Where it's just the plane. It's just the plane. You know what I mean?
I got the reference.
I was like, what?
Oh, JB does have a complaint. Not enough. E-Bombay!
Yeah.
There was enough in my movie theater. Trust me. Oh my god.
I will. Damn it! I was gonna say something I forgot. Never mind.
About Final Destination?
Oh no, I was gonna say it would have been cool. Yeah, like you were saying, how it could have been more significant landscape, like maybe just having the Avengers emblem,
like
the Avengers emblem just laying crooked somewhere.
The Earth's mightiest heroes make me feel like we're on Earth. I guess
They
is
were
the
on.
It would have been cool just
yeah they were on Earth, but make me visually represent that, right?
And because of how they depicted the destroyed land, a lot of times that looked like a lot of the alien planets that they had visited earlier on.
Yeah, but this is my issue with Star Wars as well. It's like, how many fucking Tatooines do you need?
Yeah.
God damn it. Well, it's another sand planet. Son of a bitch.
The one with the reds.
Well,
Okay, no, I like the salt planet. The salt planet was
And the
cool.
salt planet was pretty, but like that's the same thing.
that's how. So in the Star
ran
Wars
out of
universe,
ideas.
planets are an entire planet is just a biome.
Is one biome. Yeah.
And so how many biomes are there?
But also,
of course, there's gonna be more than one.
But even if someone's starting a business, they're like, this is going to be the shipbuilding planet. Like, we're going to need a whole fucking planet. We're going to bottle water. This is the water bottling planet in Star Wars, right? Thank you, Creepy Killer, for the cheer. We appreciate it.
I'm just imagining like Rick and Morty planet.
JB likes the destruction, making it seem unearth-like being fine, was showing just how destructive Thanos is.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what I agree with. I
Yeah,
agree with
because
that.
the old one was like careless. Like he was still kind of like not strong in a way. Like he wasn't sensible.
So you mentioned how much you didn't like the way Thanos changed from
Honestly,
last one
y'all,
to this
I
one.
couldn't even remember that thing.
Well, that's because
But-
it's a different Thanos.
I know from the other movies, but I couldn't even remember.
No, it's not
him.
from the other movies.
But-
It's past Thanos that got brought to the future.
Right.
So
but,
before
From
he
the
actually.
past movie.
yeah, it was
It's before a lot
before
of
he
it.
gathered
It's
stuff.
before
But
Infinity
him
War. Yeah,
gathering the stones, I don't think took as much time. I don't know. That's a whole different thing. I will say that there is a line that I did appreciate though, which is if you're gonna make like he was a thoughtful villain, I guess, right? Like
Yeah, he was
in
great.
Infinity War.
Yeah.
I did really like the line where he's like, look, I was doing this out of necessity, but now you guys have pissed me off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill all of you.
I like.
And I was like,
Thanos.
that's cool. I was down for that.
He was always evil.
No, I like. But I'm saying I like the savage. Like, oh, these people are trying to stop me from like fuck
You don't
guys.
remember him
Time to
throwing
die.
a whole planet at Tony and what? I'm confused.
That's all.
It's showing the different sides of the villain. Yeah, we loved the
'Cause he
first
grew-
Thanos,
he
but
grew
then
once he
now
got
we
all-
also love the second Thanos, which is just as
Because
vicious
I-
and savage.
because-
and so it's
But his motivations wouldn't have
person.
changed. Like 2014
No.
Thanos always had that goal.
Yeah.
His goal never
always had
was
the goal.
always that thoughtful.
But when he got the
right?
Soul Stone, he like lost part of his soul. Like he didn't do all of the things to acquire all the stones in this movie because he just got the stones. So he's just pure evil opposed to like, oh, I had to do a lot of stuff and hurt a lot of things in my personal life. So now I'm like,
that-
all
that
right,
makes sense,
I'm
too.
gonna,
Yeah.
I'm gonna snap my fingers and like I'm gonna go just live serenely. Now he's like, fuck you guys, I got the stones, time to die. Like,
I mean, a
lot more savage.
I don't see as big of a difference in the Thanos character
a huge,
from the last
huge
one.
difference.
But I do agree that because there's a little bit of a difference, and I do think that the little bit of difference is what he had to do and give up
Right.
for the stones.
Yeah.
He did not have to.
yeah.
So
That's right,
it's-
exactly what I'm
it's-
saying. He didn't have to do anything to get the Soul Stone. He got to keep
Yeah.
his daughter.
So like I feel like his character is still pretty consistent.
Yeah, I do too.
Though with him being like, oh, now you guys have really pissed me off. That was weird because
He's always
He
been
didn't go
patient.
through all of the stuff that he
Yeah,
had.
he's always
yeah.
been patient.
Yeah, that's true.
They try to show him more as a benevolent ruler in Infinity War.
Yep.
But he has been watching though. He's been so even at the point that Nebula brings him to the future, right? He still had been like watching in the background as Loki tried to take Manhattan and didn't do it, and Ultron stuff I think had happened by then.
Yeah.
And so he was like, okay, these
Right, but he was pissed off at their involvement with his plans.
To get the stones, so they're his stones.
Right. Yeah.
Right, but that right there was the first interaction that Thanos ever had
Yep.
with them.
Okay.
So why did that was weird.
And
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
And JB's saying, sort of what you're getting at is that, he was more cocky and less sympathetic. The sympathy I can understand him not having gone through that. So yeah, that's fair. And Creeping Killer, congratulations on trying for a first kid. That's awesome. And Atrexis very much relates to Thanos. She was rooting for Thanos the whole time. Yes. She's like, yep, he's right. I mean, he's got the right. So back to nitpicking. Angela Englert on Facebook said Black Widow's arc. She just...
It's done.
I knew she was going to die too.
Someone had to be sacrificed.
I knew everyone that died or left, I knew was going to. One, and this is going to sound really weird, when I was in high school was when I had read all their articles about them signing a contract for 10 years. It's about that time. So I figured they were all going to be killed off anyway.
A contract for 5 more years.
That's why he's still there.
I know.
But I'm saying, I remember Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson, and then, what's it? I mean, what the crap is her name?
And a hardliner
Black Widow,
that's a good
and
point.
whatever. I remember all of them when I was in high school. And I was like, okay, cool. So it's time for them to die. And plus, they never made a movie about her, and now they are, which makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Now that she's dead.
Yes.
Well, I mean, if we're multiversing, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We're just going to do whatever,
just
whenever.
Why? Why?
There's no consequence to anything anymore. The Russo brothers ruined everything.
It just is so dumb.
If anybody's we'll see how they do it. If anybody watches the TV show Flash,
I've seen the first 3 seasons. It's great.
Sometimes their multiverse is the cop out.
Yeah, theirs is weird too.
Because sometimes it's like, oh, Harrison Wells is dead. Here's a completely different Harrison Wells, and we'll spend an episode about talking about how he's a different Harrison Wells, but you're still just going to like him just as much.
Yeah.
Just replace him. There are no consequences. But sometimes they do it in a way where there are real lasting consequences.
And JB says that because Black Widow appeared in the most number of films next to Tony Stark, that's her sacrifice is the thing that would mean more. But they just.
But it really didn't.
But her arc, even over the course of the last 11 years, has just been all over the place.
Yeah.
Where they're like, she's this really awesome, her power, right, in the first Avengers was the ability to manipulate and spy and talk to people and get information out of them, and she never does that again. At least from what I understand. Yeah. But that was fucking awesome. And then she never does that again. And then in the second Avenger, she's like, I'm a monster because I never had kids. And then none of the Avengers are like, no, you're not. Everyone's like, oh, that's a good point.
Because that's why I thought, if they did keep her alive, I feel like she would have taken the place of Nick Fury, but I feel like that was all she would have done.
And so I liked her being the one running the Avengers at the beginning of the movie when everyone else...
And then when they randomly changed her hair, I was like, what the fuck?
She has different hair in every film, right?
And it is so weird. Why?
Blonde and
speaking of
red.
And then, I was like, what are we doing?
If you're bringing up hair, can we just discuss real quick Captain Marvel's hair?
What about it?
Why did they change it from Captain?
To make it more comic book.
Because it looks like it looks in the comics.
She looks better with short hair, low key though. Her short hair was with her pixie cut. She looks better. I prefer that version better.
I thought it was fine in Captain Marvel, and then all of a sudden
that movie was bad.
I haven't seen Captain Marvel, so
you're not missing anything.
It was okay. It wasn't the best one of all.
You're really not missing.
But it's
I
information.
was disappointed.
I was very disappointed.
It was okay. It's information.
It was okay. It was okay.
Interesting.
But it was information.
Here's the floor. Here's the floor, and here's this movie. Here's that.
Okay, that's a little low. That's a little low.
It was a little low.
Oh yeah, and also the female-driven leads. Whether or not you thought Captain Marvel was good or not, which is I think up for debate because I've heard varying things from varying people. It did make a ton of money. So now they'll, same thing with Wonder Woman. I guess we can make movies about women and people will pay for it.
I think that's just the time we're in now.
That was like a goosebump moment for me when they give Captain Marvel the gauntlet.
Yeah.
And it's
Wonder
and then
Woman.
kind of one by one, every single female character is to block for her.
So that brings up actually Christina Clark said she loved the woman power moment, but Captain Marvel's so powerful she doesn't need backup, so the movie feels a little pandery in that moment.
She did nothing beneficial in that movie. She disappointed me.
What I will say is that this film is all about pandering. Like I said, this is
Yeah.
all fan fiction
Yeah.
basically. So if you're a dude complaining about that moment, I think you're upset that it took 10 seconds to not pander to you.
Yeah.
Is my guess. If you are,
But then you get all the dudes fighting Thanos in the very next scene.
Yeah.
and yeah, you have your moments
your
too,
moments.
guys. Yeah.
I was just gonna say everyone has their moments in the movie. You know,
They did
Spider-Man has
perfect
their movie.
fan service for everyone.
Yeah.
Scarlet got her kind of revenge
But
moment.
Also,
Oh yeah, that was really great.
Yeah.
The one thing that I will say is that this is like the end game, right? This is the one out of however many million that it's going to happen. Like, okay, Captain Marvel is, I don't know, invincible or whatever,
Yeah.
but let's just put everyone on that gauntlet to make for fucking sure.
Yeah, because obviously we
Man,
could have just had Captain
just-
Marvel come in and beat the shit out of Thanos.
Sure,
That's what I was
give her
gonna
as
say.
much goddamn backup
She's got
as
so
you
much
possibly
power
can.
that a lot of those people won't even need to be there. She could have done it by herself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
Right,
why
so-
I was glad they didn't make her so OP because that's what I was honestly
They did make
really
her
afraid of.
OP. She just destroyed the ship right in front of everybody.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then she got hit with the Power Stone and was like gone. Like she took that headbutt and then bam, gone.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Trexa says Sam said that the moment felt so forced. But the thing is, there are so many of those forced. Like, okay, let's make this happen.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
make this
so
happen.
the- My least favorite moment, which might be one of Sam's favorite, Trex, as you can tell me, is the moment where you see the hammer move and fly, and then when it goes back and Captain America's holding it, and then Thor says, "I knew it."
Yeah.
I was like,
That was a great moment.
I love it.
That is
I love that
continuity.
moment, yeah.
That is continuity because that happened in one of the previous Avenger movies where
Where he,
Captain
like,
America
tries to pick up-
nudged it.
No, right, but that line, because there's the age-old comic book debate. They even make fun of it on The Big Bang Theory. And they make fun of it on The Big Bang Theory because it's like an actual debate in comic book shops is, could Captain America wield Mjolnir? Yes, no, oh, no, yeah. It's like the
couldn't-
big thing. And so Thor saying, I knew it, is representing the half of the fandom that says, yes, obviously he could.
That's not the
And
reason.
so that's that is the huge pander moment where
That's
it's like,
not.
That's not the reason.
That's not a pander.
It wasn't Captain America
Okay,
wielding
but the
it. It
reason-
was his line, is what you're saying.
He hadn't gotten
Okay,
over
this is like-
Bucky.
Just the line.
He hadn't gotten over Bucky in the past.
No, he's not saying
I'm not-
saying the hammer.
I'm
He's
not-
saying only the line "I knew it" is
yeah,
what felt
Thor
stupid.
saying,
Oh,
I knew it!
I
That
thought
way.
it felt
Right.
great.
Like,
I thought it was perfect.
I suppose that's. I mean,
I thought it was perfect.
But also, yeah, that the women power moment that Joseph Nobles, it could, it will also let's see how things go, because that could be a really poignant and amazing moment that foreshadows the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and stuff like that. So maybe we haven't seen all of the amazing stuff that all of these characters, haven't been given their due yet. But now you should probably capitalize on it. Like that kind of reaction, having that like holy, this is because I always have to bring it up in Batman v Superman, when Wonder Woman flies in, like when
No, it wasn't.
she like
wasn't
blocks
a
with
good
the
movie.
shield when Batman and Superman are about to be decimated, like little like girls and people like had that eruption moment in the theater, and that was like, holy crap, that was awesome.
But then
And
they
so
ruined it by talking after, saying, "Oh, did you bring her?" No. Why did they do
I
that?
love that
I like
moment.
so
That's
much.
such
I
a
like
dude
that.
thing
with
to
you.
like, to be honest, though, because I honestly was like, "Why are you?" still
And then
talking?
JB,
It was so bad. I was like, "Nah, they should have never talked after that."
Okay, so Pam Gilcrease's gripe was not giving the shield to Bucky. I completely disagree, in the sense that in the films, Bucky doesn't do shit.
Thank
He's
you.
a villain
Oh my
most of the
God, who
time,
is he?
and I know that he and Cap have a very special relationship, but I've never seen it in the films.
Yeah.
And so with Captain Falcon,
just Falcon.
the Falcon.
Shield!
Yes.
with Falcon having gone through like
awesome.
Civil War and Winter Soldier and all that stuff, I'm like, if he didn't give it to Falcon, I was gonna fucking yell.
But he's like that in the comic book, so I knew he would be like that now.
They both got it right.
Right.
Yeah.
Bucky was Captain America and
One
Falcon
point.
was Captain America
Yeah.
at one point.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, they
Right.
were.
Yeah. So like, when
So when that happened, what my yes, I had the same reaction. I was like, okay, thank God. But then like my secondary reaction was like, okay, brace for the
Yeah.
Twitter fallout of, oh, so now they're gonna make a black Captain America.
I was waiting for that.
I just feel
I was
like
waiting for that.
I don't feel like people would say that now because of Miles into the Spider-Verse, and I feel like people really liked him and connected with him.
Yeah.
I feel like
griping about.
I'm sure there will be dipshit people griping about all sorts of stupid shit.
Yeah.
Of all the things to gripe about.
There was a strip where I guess the Spider-Man had mentioned that Miles, you are the better Spider-Man, and then people started dogpiling on that and like, no, Peter's better, and people, no, Miles is better. It's like, oh, just because he has better abilities doesn't make him better. It's like, it doesn't matter, really.
To me, Spider-Man is a Spider-Man, and I'm hyped about all of them. Don't even care.
Did you notice the on your left, like
Yes.
from Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys were happy with it going to Falcon? Anybody
Yeah.
wanted it go to Bucky?
I mean, I didn't
Either
really
one
have
would have been fine.
You'd have been happy with either one.
Yeah.
Would you have been happy with either one?
No,
I'd
I
have
don't
been
want Bucky.
actively upset if you
I
had
would have
handed
been
that
really
fucking thing
upset
to
if it was
Bucky.
Bucky.
Yeah, me too.
God, wait, why? That would
Get
make
that
no
fucking shit away from
point.
him. He didn't do shit.
That's his brainwashed best friend, okay?
Okay, exactly.
Who's better now?
Yeah,
Okay?
but Sam has been
I
with him
wish-
through
The
everything.
Nazis tortured him. How dare
Was
you?
Bucky dusted or not? I can't remember.
He was dusted.
He was dusted. See,
Yeah.
I think I would have. Well, maybe not.
They were
but
both dusted.
I would have liked to see some Cap Bucky stuff over the last few years.
Yeah.
True.
I didn't see any.
True.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
Cap left his best friend to go live his life in the past without anybody. That's fucked up.
Well,
Doing love is life.
about
Yeah,
that,
that's great.
so there was a thing about Captain being self-giving and Iron Man being selfish, and by the end of that movie, you notice that Captain was being selfish and Iron Man was being self-giving by giving himself.
Right.
So there was a whole.
And I think that was the point, because they had both always given themselves, like they had always given a part of like themselves to other people, or like some of them were selfish just for certain reasons, and like Tony had that daughter, so he realized how to not be selfish, and then Captain America finally realized how to maybe live for himself because of Tony. Like there's just so much to it.
Quick gripe from me. They're like, will you time travel for us? Tony's like, no, I will not risk messing something up in terms of the life that I have now. Things have happened. I am where I am, and I can't go back. You're like, well, I guess if I spend 30 minutes on it, I could figure out how to time travel for you guys.
Well, we all knew he would.
Well, I mean, him coming around isn't really so much my gripe. Is that like, especially like with the conversation that Pepper had with him, where because it's something that you were talking about. Like Pepper's been trying to get him to stop.
Yeah.
What if they kill Pepper?
Yeah.
And that didn't come to pass.
Yeah.
But
Hashtag dead Pep didn't happen.
her going, I've tried to stop you, and so I know that I can't.
Yeah.
And so you have to do whatever will make you
glad she
sleep at
finally
night.
turned
Because
around.
if you're able to sleep at night, then
happy.
great, then I'm happy. But I mean, I'm going to be miserable if you don't do it, you know?
Yeah.
And so that conversation, that was fine. I didn't really have a problem with that. You got to move us along at some point. It was just like, it wasn't like, 3 weeks later, he was like, doot, 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 hope this, oh shit, fuck, it worked.
Yeah.
Guys, first timed it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, hashtag first timed.
Yeah,
Like,
that was very, I guess, Deus Ex or whatever they call that mechanism
Yeah.
where it's
Hey, Pool.
where
We have to
it's,
respond to JB.
hello.
where it's that all
No, we did.
all moment.
We did like the Avengers. Everybody here, I think, liked the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're nitpicking.
But we're nitpicking. We're breaking everything apart. Yeah.
JB, I am not shitting on the Cap. Yes, I understand he saved the world like 17 times. Right? And he just wants to know what love feel like. Well, he left an entire family that loved him just for himself. You can't say that I don't think he was loved, and he understood that. But I mean,
But
I
he
don't
was
know.
never gonna love anybody else now. He was never
His-
gonna be with anybody.
Yeah, his life was in the
That's
past.
who he waited for. Why would he? I don't think he could move on. And he had the opportunity
earned
to
it.
go
Yes,
back.
JB.
So, but the only way for that scene to make
Okay,
sense
okay.
is if he lives his life and then uses the Pym particle to come back, right?
Yeah.
If he goes, "Bzz, holy shit, you're old as shit. What happened? Well, I stayed there and lived a life.
Yes.
But because because he's waiting there, you're like, no, this broke the rules you set up where nothing that happens
that was
outside
the most
affects anything.
confusing.
Right,
Because I was fine with
Why
it.
the fuck did you
Well,
do
why
that?
was he sitting there?
I do
Yeah.
like that. I do like that.
That was a whole
when we go in the past, don't worry
up.
about it. You just do what you got to do. It's not going to fuck with anything.
Yeah.
And so that's why people are driving me nuts. Well, ooh, Loki got away. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
It didn't affect the timeline.
Different timeline.
What happens to it doesn't matter.
Nope. Different universe.
But Nebula killed Nebula, so why doesn't Nebula fade away? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The movie tells you not to worry about it from the get-go,
Yep.
so you don't have to worry about it.
And then at the very end, there's just like, oh, just kidding.
Yeah.
So,
Right?
so are we going doing gripes now?
Almost.
Okay.
So the best gripe, the winning comment, the winning gripe, is actually from Joseph Nobles on Facebook, who said, when Steve said, "Avengers Assemble,"
Yes.
everyone was already there.
Oh. Okay, well, okay, but I was gonna say something on the line of
Okay,
that. So
whoa.
my gripe along that same kind of thing was that
I love that complaint. Avengers. Oh shit. Yeah.
so
Oh
my
God.
thing with that is I wish he said it in more of an epic battle cry, like Avengers Assemble, and charge in the battle.
I think that because but because they were-
Avengers Assemble.
right,
It's like,
because
come on,
they were all
you just
already
got
there.
done fighting.
That's why
because
that-
they were-
that's why that line didn't bother
He was
me.
already,
Because he was
they were already
saying it-
fighting.
Yeah,
Like
but
they
that's
could have
what-
just charged into battle with that.
Yeah.
Like
That-
everyone was pouring in. Like that was the moment. That was the moment.
You
guys.
lost your moment.
But that's why that line didn't bother me because it wouldn't have made any sense.
Like,
As
To
a
call
battle
out
cry.
to everyone.
Yeah. So he was saying it to himself. Because
Okay.
he used
Yeah.
to be like the leader of the Avengers.
Uh-huh.
And so he's like, hey, this is everybody. So he's pretty much saying it to himself, Avengers Assemble. Finally, I have my team of family of what, like, that was to himself. It didn't bother me.
So he yells Avengers Assemble, and then we get.
But how do you know everyone was there? He's turned around facing Thanos.
So Gracie wanted to know what happened in Budapest. Like they keep talking about it. She wants to know. Maybe
do you-
you'll get it. I'm fine not knowing.
What do you mean? What happened to Budapest? Right.
With, between Black Widow and Hawkeye.
You know, they when in the movie the Hawk or in
Obviously,
the
they banged it out.
in the Black Widow movie.
They obviously-
in the Black Widow movie they might
have a love
touch on
child
it.
that
They
nobody
might touch
knows
on
about.
yeah, I hope, I agree. I hope they don't. But they probably will.
it. In the Black Widow movie,
Yeah.
they should totally touch on the whole Budapest thing.
No, I hope they don't.
Okay,
I hope that
whatever.
either it takes
Some things are
place-
best left to the imagination.
No, yeah, because I think
Yeah, sick imagination.
I think that their relationship is so unique because like he has a wife and kids and a family whom he loves, but obviously there's like love between them, and you never really can tell, is this romantic love, is it just friendly, like what is this relationship? And so like having this mysterious Budapest thing, I don't want to know. Like I like it being mysterious.
You don't need to point us in any direction. We just know that they are close, like
Yeah.
closer than any other.
So like if
Avengers.
the
real
Black Widow
close.
movie
felt like,
takes place,
felt like brother and sister, says Hardline.
real close.
if the Budapest, or if the Black Widow movie takes place right before Budapest,
Yeah.
like I would love for it to end on, okay, we're sending you guys to Budapest.
sending you guys to-
credits.
Oh, like,
You know, like-
I don't want to fucking work with
That-
this
that
guy.
would be
There's
cool,
no way I'm
too.
working. Well, you're gonna have to work with him. You're sending you to Budapest. Credits.
Yeah, that's what I would like to say.
That would be them trolling us.
Okay, Ubun says the Hawkeye scene at the beginning should have been at the end of last movie. Agree or disagree?
With him in Japan?
No, with
No, with
his
him.
family
No, with
getting
his family.
dusted.
Experience.
Probably, yeah, because we all knew what happened by the time the trailers came
Exactly,
out.
we all
They're
knew
like,
he went nuts.
Ronan's there. It's like, okay,
No.
something fucked up happened.
Yeah, if
his family probably is
if
gone.
Ronan is there, that means his mental broke.
Yeah,
he's on a killing
exactly.
spree.
I
It's
think
like,
it
well,
was
fuck the
good
bad
they
people.
included it in this movie
I
because it
think it
kind of
should have
built
been in this
you.
movie.
It built you more up on him because he wasn't there the whole time.
Well, to me, it sort of links those things. So
Yeah.
you see in the last film, it's not about the world or the effect on the world. It's about the Avengers. Yes, Hawkeye's an Avenger, but his family isn't,
he was-
right?
yeah.
You see what happens to your superheroes. And then the movie ends with the villain, which is what should be, because the whole Infinity War is about Thanos.
Thanos.
So in this one, it's like, now there are other consequences. Like, have you thought about these things? Like,
Yeah.
he
Right.
watched his family,
So-
get dusted, and the world is dealing with the crisis and fallout of this kind of thing. I think tonally, but also even to create a bridge, it should have been here.
Yeah, I think so too.
When I sat down in the movie theater, I instantly regretted not bringing a notepad. I was like, "Ah, crap, I'm going to be talking about this like hours after I see it. I would like to have like a couple of just like little notes of like this scene, this word. So I told myself, it's okay. I'll remember them. Well, I remember one, which was the opening scene, and the comment I would have written was, damn.
Yeah, and so this is
Like, that was powerful.
I really
Yeah.
like, I think of it as the sort of smaller, subdued version of, here we go again, the intro to Batman v Superman, which is like you're watching real people on ground level, seeing the effect of the shit that's going on. Regardless of what you thought about Batman v Superman, I think most people would agree that the intro to that movie was effective.
Yeah.
I would think. Just the intro.
I can't remember it.
It's okay. Then maybe it wasn't. But yeah, so I agree. That should have been there.
No, I think
Let's just talk about also at the same time that Hawkeye just turned into a murderer.
Yeah.
Like Hawkeye was just like, oh, okay, well, fuck this, bad people, you're gonna die. Like you're just gonna get murdered, and I'm gonna be the one to do it, and I'm gonna not stop until I feel.
He pretty much like turned into the Punisher.
I'm not going to stop until they kill me. Is I think.
Yeah.
He turned into the Punisher. Exactly.
I could have used more of that.
More murder.
No, it was more of his pain.
Break. Yeah, more
because he wasn't there. Like that's the thing. Like he wasn't there the whole time. Like he was done, and he went to go be with his family. And like now,
and it still hit him, even though he quit to be with his family, and
it still affected him. But it's like they didn't show so much of his breaking point. And I felt like since he, for some reason, became a big part of the Endgame, they should have included more of his pain.
No, we know.
JB, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he became Ronin.
Yeah,
we just wanted to see more of it.
I think they just wanted.
I was just establishing that it's just like he threw his mental out the window, and he was like, "Well, we're just."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, nobody has a problem with the Ronin thing.
No.
We were just like, man, that's a cool movie.
Yeah,
He died to me when he shit on Cap.
I actually could have used. I could have used more Ronin, more of his either
expertise.
More Ronin or more of his mental break turning into Ronin. I would have rather seen more of that and less of the traveling back in time by each team.
Yeah.
Like I get the parallels that they're drawing with Tony and his dad. Like I get what they're doing. I could have done without it.
I mean, Iron Man.
I could have done without a huge chunk of that 1970.
God, me too.
Like so, so that is what I would have cut out of the movie.
But I've never bought the Tony and his parents thing very well. You know, we talked about this like in Civil War and stuff. I just like anybody with their parents could have any number of like issues or links or whatever. But I'm not gonna think. I'm not going to assume because that's his parents that he would, do anything to avenge them or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, I don't know. I
think on all of the teams traveling back in time, I could have done with less of it.
With all of the back in time
Every
stuff?
single back in time stuff could have been way shorter.
So Ishnu... go ahead.
When they got to Hawkeye and Black Widow and when they got to them going back in time, because that was the last one.
Mm-hmm.
So when they got to that, I was like, I honestly felt, oh crap, there's one more freaking team we have to watch go back in time. Like, dang it!
All the back in time sequence were worth America's ass.
I saw it.
You could have still had that and cut out 90% of the other back in time.
Because a lot of the back in time stuff was fluffy.
Yeah, it was. The last one was important.
Yeah, the Vormir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's what brings that.
And I thought I wasn't, but I ended up liking the 2012 when they go back to the original Avengers movie.
Yeah,
like that's cool. Mm-hmm. Like that sequence was riveting and talking to the monks were at the Battle of New York. They were just behind the scenes. The kind of way they retconned that was kind of neat.
Yeah, I like that.
I really I think that a huge chunk of that 1970s.
Yeah.
Let's go get more Pym particles.
Yeah,
I understand you got to go get more Pym particles, but just the whole military base thing, I could have
hey,
we got him. That could have been shortened up.
But maybe it had to, because if you're gonna kill off Tony and you're gonna have it related to his family and his current family, maybe
because it was making you feel for Tony more when he went back, especially when he talked to his dad.
And I get it. Like I said, I get what they were doing. I just don't think that it really.
You could have done less with it.
Yeah, I could have done with that.
You could have done.
It would have been fun.
All right.
JB straight up disagrees. All the time travel arcs were amazing, he says. So Ishnu's complaint was that Ant-Man did not go up the butt.
That's the big internet disappointment.
Yeah.
So-
But he did have a big
Expand.
part in it.
Okay,
in the whole defeating Thanos of
Yeah.
at least being able
Is
to
that
go
like
back
in
in
the
time.
comic books?
No,
They just thought,
it's
like,
just
Ant-Man
the stupid
shrinks down.
internet
That was
thing.
Goes
literally
inside
the
Thanos
biggest
and then
meme
expands and-
until the movie came out.
That's aggressive. I was like, I didn't know that was in the comic.
Yeah, everyone was like, that's
dude.
all we have to
You know
do.
what? So like about that,
Continuity
like
issues.
I really liked the MCU in Infinity War much more than the comic Infinity War. Like comparing the two battle sequences that you get with MCU and I guess just the whole character development and just the battles really.
Yeah. No,
Which is
yeah.
way better.
So, Robotical Nick, his gripe, I have to reference a tweet real quick. He says, okay, remember when they needed to investigate seismic disturbances at the very beginning? You know, the reason Captain Marvel had to leave for 80% of the movie, which didn't lead to anything. I guess the earthquakes were fine. I guess, probably okay. I have to correct you there a little bit, Robotical Nick. The reason Captain Marvel wasn't there was because it was Okoye that brings up the earthquakes.
Yeah.
And Natasha's like, let's investigate. And she goes, you don't have to. It's
They're
an
earthquakes,
earthquake. It's
yeah.
a natural phenomenon. There's nothing we can do. Captain Marvel is like, there's a lot of planets that are dealing with a lot of fallout of a lot of things. And so I actually buy that. I actually buy that, yes, there are very few people that can go around and check on these planets.
Yeah.
She probably should go check on the other fucking planets, right?
And as she points out, none of these other planets have the Avengers.
Right. Yeah.
Like you guys got a planet. Like yeah.
So in terms of taking the most powerful character and sidelining them for your movie, while I'm not like super thrilled about it, I have not seen Captain Marvel, so I was sort of looking for some more Captain Marvel, especially because the stinger from Infinity War was Captain
It's her,
Marvel.
yeah.
Right.
So, but even then I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that makes about as much
But in
sense
a way,
as
it
any
makes
reason.
sense though.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Because
does.
the whole movie, she was never really a part of the Avengers. So like for her to be there for a good amount of the movie would make no
She's
sense.
the Superman of the Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like for all the movies they've made, she's appeared in like one. Like she has her own movie and like this one. So like it would make no sense for her to be there as an Avenger.
Well, they didn't know
For the whole time.
Well, they didn't know about her.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Nick Fury kept her hidden. Sure.
Yeah, but the thing is, it would make no sense for her to be there a good amount
You're
of
saying
the time.
if she played a huge role in this movie,
It would be
Like
weird.
that. This is not what you had been building up this whole time.
Yeah.
So
and if she was going to be OP, she
is
might as
like-
well have been OP.
sort of like in the last Harry Potter book when they introduced Wanda Allegiance and like, oh, by the way, there's Wanda Allegiance.
Yeah.
It was like,
Okay,
Well,
oh
okay.
fucking K. Like
Yeah.
where was that the whole time?
But it just makes sense for her to not be
Yeah.
there and for her to be helping other planets because that's pretty much what she does.
So Mark Englert, his issue was that he feels like there weren't enough Pym particles for everything they did. He said it's kind of hard to keep count, but like specifically, you need Pym particles and you need a GPS to be able to figure out where you're going and what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
And Nebula goes, Thanos, come to me. Somehow.
So I read about that, and they were thinking that whenever Nebula, or I guess past Nebula took out current Nebula.
Oh, which was also, by the way, Sarah Farrell's gripe was how did Nebula bring Thanos forward? So I wanted to not make sure I read her name.
But since Thanos has his Dark Legion, or his four guys, one of them is a really smart scientist, so he could just replicate whatever those Pym particles were, or I guess
Yeah, but
reverse engineer.
But they didn't
those Pym particles.
show-
No, they didn't show that, but that's just kind of a, I guess,
Implied.
maybe inside, maybe possible explanation on why that could.
Because it just looked like she pressed a
Right,
couple
but-
buttons to me and brought him here.
Yeah,
But
like
she
it's-
also, but the Nebula, their memories are mixing. So I suppose whenever the past
past
Nebula
Nebula had
came
seen-
to the future, she probably already knew
How to do it.
how to manipulate.
the
But
device, though.
plus, she can also. I mean, she lives, or they're from space, so I'm sure they could figure out.
They're
Anytime
from space, guys.
Look, you're used to all this space shit.
they pilot a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of space shit out there. Yeah.
I'm not buying this.
Yeah.
I appreciate you trying.
Hey.
I appreciate you trying.
I mean, look, I can fanboy away why Obi-Wan saying it's over, I have the high ground makes sense. But in all honesty, it doesn't make sense. You can fanboy it to make sense as much as you want, but it doesn't. It's bad writing.
We played a game when we destroyed the Last Jedi where we did it. It was an explanation or justification.
Yeah.
Is this a legitimate explanation, or are we trying to justify something? And I feel like that's an aching justification, right?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, if he has,
Okay,
y'all can take it however you want. That's just how I kind of. That's how I understand it. That's how I
point to anything that we see in any movie that would lead us to believe that any of that happened.
Everything that I mean, if it was in the movie, no, it wasn't explained in the movie. No.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
I guess that's sort of
So
like
it's all fanboy
Or
justifications.
or lore.
Sure, or lore, or taken from the comic
Because
books and
if
using those types
so,
of
they did that
explanations.
real fast, and she pressed some
Oh,
buttons.
she did that super quick
and she
too.
was like,
She didn't have to
cool.
change it.
Like,
She was
that's
like,
what I was wondering too.
30 seconds, popcorn button,
Bruh,
go.
I mean,
Part computer.
Well, no, it was
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
really.
I mean,
she's a part computer. Like she's like
So are
Also,
you saying-
they
are
knew
you
each other's
saying she's
language.
the
push a button.
GPS?
She put her finger in it. Like
Is she the GPS?
It's not
Yes,
so
it was
far-fetched.
Tony Stark's fault for building a Thanos button into the time machine.
It's not so far-fetched to think that he has a super genius
Hardliner
scientist
says-
that's able to reconstruct the pin particles and possibly even diagnose whatever that wrist modular was
No.
to bring themselves back to the future.
2014 Nebula did not give Thanos the bracelet or the pin particle because she had to use it to come
Correct.
back.
Yeah.
She stole it from
But
her.
the technology from it can, I would
be
assume,
replicated,
be
because of the
replicated
mad
in.
scientist.
But that
and
fast?
if at any
And
point
if they had showed us
we had
that,
seen
They're
anything like that.
Have
Yeah.
you seen his armada?
Oh yeah, they're in space.
if
We're
Thanos
dying.
was like,
Spaceships that are
if
highly-
literally-
way better than Earth stuff.
if you just throw the line, if she's like, okay, I have this and this, I'm going to go back and, I'm going to take the place and puts the yellow thing on, right? If he goes, make me one of those. And then it cuts away, cool. I'm now fine.
Sure.
Yeah. But
But it
movie
wasn't implied.
yeah,
No,
it was-
she came
sorry it
in there
wasn't
and she
implied to
took
you
her
guys.
place.
We
She
took
pressed
it
a
as
couple
implied, like a
buttons
fucking
and
space
brought him
alien.
here.
Exactly.
It wasn't implied.
It's like Darth Vader showing up with a Death Star in front of Earth, and you're like, "Oh shit, where'd that come from?
But
How'd they make that?"
They didn't imply
Like,
it. I'm sorry,
they're
Cal.
aliens.
Cal, I'm sorry, they didn't imply it. I'm sorry.
So what about in Battle of New York when holes were ripped open and all these ships start coming through? What do you think the people thought then? It wasn't implied that they have futuristic spaceships?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or to make
Okay, so
wormholes.
it's implied. So
Or
it's
that
not
they can
like
make
they can travel-
wormholes?
No, it wasn't.
No. Space travel makes sense.
It's known.
Yeah.
Alex, I'm with you 100%.
This is time travel.
And portal jumping we have
Wormholes.
seen.
Yeah, we've seen
We've seen
portal
the portal jumping.
We've seen space travel. That's all well and documented. If someone shows up anywhere at any point in time in the Marvel Universe, that's fine.
Yeah.
But when you time travel, when you set very rigorous,
And you set your
specific,
rules for
these
how to
pin
time
particles are so small. We've got 6 in the chamber, so we have one jump, and there's nothing we can do about
They
it.
had
It's-
that
They
many.
had.
right, but when you
Not,
right.
There could have been so many made out in space that science.
And if they had said
yeah,
that,
and if they had
they are
indicated
fucking giant monstrous spaceships.
that never time travels. So why would we
they
assume
had
that
to
they're
go to
not
wormholes.
particles?
JB
What it-
said,
what it sounds
also,
like.
didn't all the people on Thanos' ship get shrunk too? Didn't first Ant-Man explain how that turns you to goop? Or was his whole ship built properly to protect all the goobers?
goobers. That's a question I do not know the answer to because I don't think I understand it.
I think he was saying that you have to have a certain suit to be able to go through the, I guess, quantum realm to time travel.
But they're not necessarily.
Oh, right. I see.
So yeah, that actually makes it. Yeah, if they
So-
were to come back in time, they I don't know.
Okay.
They didn't have that
Okay.
right, material.
Okay, and this is me. I am justifying. I am fanboying.
Okay.
But this makes more sense than the other fanboy
Right.
explanations I've heard.
If we assume that one person can time travel under very strict rules, we should be able to assume that anyone can time travel at any point for any reason.
Without
Yeah,
a
it
suit
is
that will
What
turn you to
sounded
goop.
like you were
Yeah.
saying.
So
Sure,
if
I'll buy that.
I love you, Alex.
I mean, yeah.
if Nebula
Oh wait, I can't go.
if Nebula being a computer found a way to open a portal that didn't require shrinking
Right.
and expanding,
Right.
then that explains everything. But that's a portal, not time travel. That still isn't good because like they make a big deal about how the only way to time travel is to shrink into the quantum realm and blah 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 whatever.
Right.
But
There's no time travel machine outside of this specific thing going to the quantum realm with these specific things in these suits.
yeah,
But also that information was passed on though through Nebula of future Nebula to past Nebula, so they knew and were aware of all that information.
That
It's
is true
intense
too.
that they did that fast.
That is, I mean,
He
And
said,
she
"I
would-
want to know everything." Do you remember the whole scene? Thanos was like, "Let me see everything."
And they did that
Bro,
that
they
fast.
got-
They
and that's
pressed a couple
literally-
buttons, and she
I
came
didn't
to our
have
future.
3D model
Interesting.
printers.
here's what I
They print people.
here's really all I
They print
wanted
people.
is if that little bracelet thing that they had, their GPS, if like one Nebula, Thanos, I don't care who, if we just see somebody handing that to their science guy,
Yeah.
It would have been fine.
then it would have been fine.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Even a throwaway
And
line like making
Yeah,
one of those.
but they
It
never
would have
implied
been.
it.
Yeah, but nothing was ever.
Everything was ever implied. It was
it's-
literally her coming here,
Space
pressing
magic.
a couple buttons, and then there was Thanos.
So Nerdess felt like it was kind of slow in spots. Her gripe was that, I think similar to you, especially at the beginning, it was kind of draggy. And also, having not seen Captain Marvel, she felt, wow, Captain Marvel's kind of an asshole. Like,
Oh, I don't think so.
No.
in the... without having
She's
any context
confident.
for her character. Right, yeah.
just super
And this is actually something that Sam said was like, she's like literally the most powerful being there.
Yeah.
So she being confident in her ability. But again, she didn't have any of the context for anything.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know anything about Captain Marvel except she was paged.
You need to watch the movie.
Because we hadn't seen the movie. So
Yeah, you both need to watch the
You
movie.
should have gone and watched the movie first, Steven.
Right,
Before you
yeah.
watched
Because
the
I never
finale
thought
of all
she
the
was.
movies, Steven.
I never thought she was mean. I guess I would say confident, but she was also confident enough to know, like, you guys are strong enough for me to not be here.
Right.
Like, we're kind of like, to
Yeah.
me, she saw them on the same level enough for her to leave and go fight other planets. Like,
Right.
to me,
had shit
she
to
was
do.
chill. Yeah.
Okay. Couple quick things from my gripes, and we'll get to yours. I understand we're going long, but this is it's big. So the Hulk story. Did you guys feel like they just completely boned the Hulk at all? Because in Infinity War, they're like, he's grappling with internal demons. Hulk's not coming out. He spent so much time as the Hulk in Thor Ragnarok that he was worried that if he ever went to Hulk again, he would never come back. And then Hulk was like, tried to fight Thanos, failed, wouldn't come back out. Like the last Hulk's line in Infinity War is like, we have some stuff we got to figure out, buddy. Mm-hmm. Is that good enough for you? Because when he shows back up, he's like, oh yeah, I figured it out. We're cool.
No, I think it's fine. For me,
And it took time.
yeah.
It was like 5 years later.
So you are okay.
Because I think he was a whole, like,
You don't-
self-love kind of thing.
You don't think that Hulk deserved
Became hipster Hulk.
more?
I feel like they've
Or did-
never
did we get
done
his-
Hulk right, to be honest, in the Marvel Universe.
So maybe don't even bother.
Yeah, like...
Norton was a great Hulk.
Edward Norton was
thought
my
he was great.
favorite Hulk, and I don't mind what's his face now,
Bruce Banner.
Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo.
yeah,
I don't
I like
mind him
Ruffalo.
now, but I just feel like they've never really given him the credit he deserves as the Hulk. So for me, it was just like, he's the
I mean,
Hulk.
that's kind of always how it's been. with the
Yeah.
Hulk, because like he's so powerful, they end up like having to say like, no, Hulk, we're done, and send him off to another planet or just get him out of there.
Yeah.
I mean,
JB
he's
hated-
always been kind of sidelined by the Avengers.
JB hated Hulk's story a little bit. He secretly wanted a sequel. Trexis apparently agrees with Nerdez. She, like, her line of "y'all didn't have me," she felt was yucky. But again, the confidence seems
Wait, which?
Oh, I see what you're
warranted.
saying.
He's like, we've tried
said
fighting
that?
Thanos before, and she goes, "We didn't have me."
Yeah, and I like that though. But that's like also being like, y'all are not strong enough to beat Thanos, and I am. So
Yeah.
sorry. That's not being rude. That's like, oh, y'all lost. Sorry. That's because you're not as strong as me.
Yeah, that didn't bother me because she's
not a-
like literally invincible.
She's fucking. She's the Superman.
Y'all need to watch her movie because
Yeah, I like it.
I really
Yeah.
love Captain Marvel even in the comic books,
Yeah.
and her movie was okay, but I think she's really good, and I didn't find her overconfidence a bad thing.
The thing is, like, the other, Star-Lord is like an overconfident jerk.
I love him so
He's-
much.
oh, by the way, it's not
Thor
his fault.
is at times an
wasn't
overconfident
his fault.
jerk.
No.
Captain Marvel to me was an appropriately confident person, like
She's
not a
okay.
jerk about it, just dead, like
Yeah.
deadpan. Like there's no tone. She's like, well, she didn't lambast or anything like, well, you guys really, I'm gonna borrow a phrase from JB. Y'all really pooed the scrooch on this one. And if you just had the awesome invincible powers of the stars or cosmos, or I haven't seen the fucking film, I don't know if it's gamma rays,
Nebula.
whatever.
Space magic.
But space magic, then I guess I'll pull your asses out of the fryer. Then I'm like, okay, like they did the best they fucking
And
could.
that's
Like
why-
back off
That's
there.
why it's for emergency use only.
Because she's saving other planets. Like she even said, like, you guys aren't the only one experiencing what he did. Like, it's not like they were the only
You're not
ones.
special. You're not-
Yeah, like she was. Who else? They were gonna go to space
Yeah,
to
yeah,
go
that's like
fight
we said earlier,
aliens.
like-
Like she was, and I feel like she was the right person to do that. And I
So-
don't feel her overconfidence was in any way threatening. It was like,
Is
okay, I have to do this because I'm the only one who can.
is the single dumbest thing in the movie of all the things that we've sort of nitpicked so far? Is the single dumbest thing in the movie what the internet affectionately refers to as Master Splinter, saving Paul Rudd from the quantum realm.
Yes.
The single dumbest thing in this movie.
No, I think it's really funny because that's him. Like Ant-Man's like funny. I found it funny
No,
and
the
to
fact
perfectly fit
that a
him.
rat
Just-
randomly
Yeah, I
walks over
found
the
it
thing.
perfectly to fit who Ant-Man was. Why wouldn't it? Like, he's not like, I don't understand. Like, I feel like that fit Ant-Man perfectly. He's such a dunce. I just feel like that
that's
would
what
be
it
a
feels
perfect
like.
way for him to come back. Like,
The only way Ant-Man is saved from
like,
that thing that dire is
freaking
randomly.
rat. Like, it really got me.
Yeah, and like, there's a
Wouldn't it have
whole
worked
kind
better?
of-
Someone else being like,
like
you know,
it.
like that the sleazy
security
guy
guard.
at the security guard being like, you know what, that van's been in here a while. I'm gonna start rifling through shit. Oh, what's all this shit? Declare. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah,
that at least is a little bit better
I
than
think
like.
the rat was really funny. I really do because Ant-Man's so like funny.
I was like,
How do you feel about that rat, Cal? I thought it was fine. I thought it was perfect.
You're good with the rat.
I'm good with the rat.
Not the dumbest thing in the movie.
No.
Okay.
What's wrong with you?
I thought the dumbest thing in the movie.
I thought it fit Ant-Man, who Ant-Man
Like,
was
get into your-
perfectly.
Get into your gripes now. What else do you
Hey,
got?
like I said, the dumbest thing is the serene pool after it goes like jumps away.
I love that your nitpick is like, our nitpicks are pretty far down the nitpicky ladder, but yours like is pissing on a different ladder. There's a body of water after the battle and it's completely serene and it's driving me fucking insane.
The entire it was wrecked. Everything was destroyed and wrecked around it. The entire area is blown to shit. And all of a sudden, within 30 seconds, Cat's like, "Goodbye. I'm gonna go fix this." And then all of a sudden, old man bench serene water. What?
I thought they were in a different area.
Yeah.
No, they were in the same spot.
No, because
like
when
turned
they-
around.
I could have sworn they were in a different area, dude.
No, how far could they have gone in 30 seconds?
It doesn't.
No, they went to a different area.
It doesn't tell you how much time has passed from the end of the battle to when they're going to send Captain America back with the stones. So when they set that up, okay, here's the stones. We're going to send you back. They're in woods.
Yeah, they're
Obviously, it's
surrounded
not
by
the same
woods.
area.
That's why
They
I
are
was
in
like,
a
that's not the
different
same area.
Your nitpicky thing doesn't even exist.
You know what's happened here though is that they didn't appropriately set up the scene for the final battle for scale and location.
Yep.
And so now we don't know where the fuck
Now
they are
you
or what
think
they're
that-
doing.
Yep.
And if they
Wait,
had
and
done
it's
that
not.
to an effective
We would
degree,
know.
we would know where your
It was
shit
like
is.
Screen pander. It was just like mess, water.
No, it wasn't mess. There was no mess. It was woods.
literally
it was
didn't
woods. What? Like I don't know what.
They were on Tatooine during the fight. They were in Kashyyyk.
Will Ross was with me, and I was like, "Did that just happen?" He goes, "Yes." So
Will doesn't know what he's talking
okay.
about.
No.
Will, if you have shit to
Yeah.
say, you
That
come back
was
on the
not the
podcast.
same area.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry,
not- it's
but it
definitely not.
wasn't.
I saw the movie minutes ago, guys.
I really don't think that was the same area.
And maybe I don't remember the beginning of the movie because that was last
Yeah,
week.
'cause he says
but,
that-
but that
JB
scene
says the
happened
place-
minutes ago for me.
That makes sense. It looks like it was at Stark's cabin.
Yeah.
For sure. Because that's where they had the funeral.
yeah.
And it would make sense.
But it made him look
That
like
was
they
yeah.
time
Because it was
traveled
after
there.
the funeral.
Yeah, it was after the funeral.
Yeah. So I guess you have no
We'll
nitpicky
see.
things.
Why would they have the funeral at the dusted, destroyed Avengers?
Yeah. No, they
Yeah.
had the funeral at the cabin. They pushed Tony's things out on the lake. Tony's.
And that was
the
beautiful water.
thing.
There you go. It was at Tony's.
No, because it was more. No.
Were you and Will making out during the movie? Did you miss some stuff here?
I think yeah.
Did you go to the bathroom after the fight?
was at the funeral, right?
I'll watch
Tony
it again.
was at the
Okay.
Tony was at the funeral.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Tony was the one getting
He was
burned.
Tony. He was dead. He was at the funeral. Yeah, he totally was.
Floating down there. Tony was there.
my
just not alive.
Cap. I'm sorry. Steve,
Yeah, Cap
Steve was
got
at
there
the-
twice actually.
Yeah.
Cap attended the funeral twice.
So yeah, I mean, I can't remember exactly what sequence, but yeah, it would seem like that would make sense if he was at their cabin.
So
But I had,
We'll see.
I had another
I'll
gripe.
rewind.
This one's been egging at me. So like since
Yeah, what you got?
Thor went back in time, talked to his mom and got the reality stone, he summoned a second Mjolnir. And then brought it with him to the future.
yeah.
And so that one's been kind of egging at me, like, so that Thor is missing his hammer. And he's
Yep.
like, what the fuck, where's my hammer?
Yep. In that timeline, that Thor.
It's fucked.
I was thinking about that too.
But that timeline, but like again, there's none of those timelines affect anything.
Yeah, that's what I
They're all closed off at the end, right?
No. Okay. None of those timelines affect the main timeline that we are following.
But those timelines still exist.
But those
Yes.
timelines still exist, and those people, which is why I can't remember her name, but the
Time
Doctor
Stone lady.
Strange chick was so worried
ancient
about
one.
was so worried about getting the time stone back
So,
because she was like, in your timeline, this might save you, but in our reality, like if this leaves, now there's a new reality. We are fucked. Like you're screwing our entire universe of people by me giving you this.
But there are people saying that like the theory is that Steve went back to Asgard through Thor.
Cap took it back with the stones.
Okay.
when he went back with the stones.
If he has all the stones, he has a space stone. He can just teleport there.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of like in between
It
explanation
wasn't
and
implied
justification.
again, you
Is that like a
guys.
But I
stretch
get
about the ship going through in time?
Oh, he said it was.
It was-
Is that
Didn't he
that
pick
type
up-
of stretch?
Is that too stretchy?
The hammer to take with him.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So like I think that's a fair assumption you're making, but they did not show or he didn't say I gave it back. You know, again, if we're
When was
going
it
to
in
make
the
a series
movie?
of assumptions.
Oh, he did.
he grabbed it and time traveled.
okay.
And yeah,
But it makes-
and then when we see him again, he doesn't have.
He
it.
doesn't
So
have
it's
it. Yeah.
implied. It's implied.
I think that's pretty close to being. Implied.
That's an implication that
yeah.
you'll buy.
Yeah.
So you'll buy that, but you won't buy a ship
No.
time travel.
No, I'm sorry.
Because that break-
Bunch of assholes.
Here's
Alex, we're surrounded by a bunch of assholes.
It's okay. We get it, Janet.
I'm not going back on that ship. We're moving forward.
Giving Mjolnir back to Thor in that timeline follows everything set up in the movie as being plausible. The whole ship being able to come would require a new set of time travel rules that we have not been shown or
But they
discussed
already
at all.
broke, so it's all Gucci.
But again, I thought that by going and putting all the stones back, which Cap presumably did, that it closed off all those other timelines. Those other timelines don't exist.
But he can't put back the soul stone.
Yep.
They don't say that.
He can't.
They don't say
Yep,
that.
to sacrifice.
No, I think I'm pretty sure.
You have to sacrifice to put
get
it back?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
don't-
sacrifice someone to. No, you sacrifice
it.
someone
Yeah,
to get it. You
they
can't.
completely just leave that.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't get-
Everything about putting the stones back is left blank except for he did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's
We
too
don't know
complicated
how.
for them to
You don't got to
explain.
worry about how.
I don't
That's
think
a
they
whole
could
other 3-hour
explain it.
movie.
Yeah.
They're just like hand wipe it.
Yeah, we're not gonna go give it to the limit. He's like going time traveling, just like playing this, re-injecting Natalie Portman with red juice, like while she's asleep.
Throws back the hammer.
Here's your shit, buddy. Take it to the limit.
Just give us like a 5-minute thing of just Captain going through time and the time and the space stone, just like popping in. That would be hilarious.
I'll be alright with that.
Yeah, he can return the soul stone. He can't do the sacrifice. But doesn't returning all the stones, just all of those split things that happen, just go and like
what-
lock
Yeah,
back
because
in.
that's what What's-Her-Face explained.
What I'm going to assume is that he just gives the stone to Thanos, because if all those timelines are
Thanos?
supposed, if all those timelines and stones are supposed to line back up with Steve going back in time, he's already going to have the soul stone. He can't give it back, so he's just going to have to give it to Thanos because he can't give it.
Or you could just give it back to that dude.
Yeah, to the
to
Hey, I know we used to fight like 70 years ago. You look shockingly familiar. You want this? Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a prequel.
Big gripes that we haven't covered yet. Who hasn't gotten their big gripes in
no. Mine is the Steve Rogers breaking the time travel rules.
at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm chilling.
mine was.
You're just you don't really have any gripes. You just
You enjoyed all of it.
Did you get enough? Did you get enough Spider-Man?
I got enough Spider-Man.
he was
Y'all don't
so
even
adorable.
know. Oh my god. Honestly, didn't cry at Tony Stark. I cried at Spider-Man. I cried at the fact that he lost someone who was a father figure to him.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a random thing. You know, at the end of the funeral and everyone's standing there, who's that kid standing alone?
So that was
From
that.
Iron Man 3.
Yeah, the little kid.
Oh, I didn't like that movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
See,
That's
I
the little
loved Iron
kid.
Man 3.
Oh, that's the little kid.
Yeah, he helped him in his garage.
Well, why is he
Yeah.
relevant enough to be there?
Because
He sort of
Another mentor.
got Tony Stark to become Iron Man again after
Yeah.
Tony was like,
okay.
I'm like quitting and I'm done.
I just thought
and
that
the
was
little kid
really
sort of
random,
made
'cause
Iron
I
Man.
was
It took
just
me a
like-
minute too.
Yeah, I
Fat
was
Thor
like,
is my
what the
favorite
fudge?
part of the movie.
That Thor was great.
One of the weird things that that kind of bugged me
He's
was
not fat.
Captain America
He's just chubby.
when he was
Thor.
using Mjolnir, using lightning ability, because we've already established in
Oh, yeah,
Ragnarok
like, yeah.
that Thor
can do
the
lightning without Mjolnir. That's not where it comes from.
it doesn't come from like he is the god. He's
That's
not
good.
the god of hammer. He's the god.
Well,
of
Thunder,
like,
yeah.
Maybe it's implied that Thor was shooting lightning at Mjolnir from the side, even though we didn't see it.
Well,
Quit
maybe-
trying to
safely
count
assume-
Maybe,
like this
maybe
one.
he was still just suppressed,
Are you
and maybe that
justifying
gave
this?
him like an extra boost because it dressed him up and like it
justification?
braided his beard. Maybe he just needed that
That braid
little
beard was
like
pretty cool,
magical girl transformation, and he was like,
No, but Cap
"I'm
was
ready."
using
I did.
the lightning.
We're
I
saying
don't
like
know.
how Cap was using the lightning.
Yeah, Cap was using lightning.
Yeah.
Why
So-
not? I think it was just a fan service thing, to be honest.
I don't know if you guys heard the story, but I just thought it was like a neat thing. The, I am Iron Man being Tony's sort of capstone line at the end of it was something they did in post. They had shot the film, they had completed it, they had gone through several different lines, none of them were working, so there wasn't a line. He just snapped his fingers. And then one of the editors, who's been editing Marvel films for the last 11 years, was like, he needs to say, I am Iron Man again. So they go back to RDJ. RDJ was like, I already said goodbye to the character. I really don't want to have to come back and do it. And they talked him into coming back and doing it. So they shot that scene like weeks later, like came back to put that line back in. Was that the appropriate
What did he
way?
say?
He's like, Thanos said, I am inevitable. And he said, I am Iron Man. And is that a good line to go out on? Is that
think so.
Yeah.
Is that the
I
full
thought that was
circle?
brilliant.
I mean, I guess it's fine, but
thought
I
that
would
was
have been fine if it was just him just savagely snapping those fingers and him disappearing. Like, I just thought
No,
that
it
would have been fun.
added that last sign of saying, well, you know what? I don't give a shit who you are.
But it
I'm
didn't-
still Iron Man. See you later.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know if it was the editor that was one of RDJ's good friends. It may have been, but someone who was not the Russo brothers that was involved in the Marvel stuff did this is important. You need to go back and do that.
Because I mean, yeah, the Iron Man started off when he comes back from the desert and like his first press conference.
Yeah.
And like the first thing he says is, "I am Iron Man."
Yeah, I'm Iron Man.
Yeah. So it's like a throwback to the very first.
So yeah, it's a
Avenger
perfect
movie.
bookend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just fan service, to be honest.
Right.
I really don't think it was necessary.
And I'll
because he was going to die already. Like, I just don't,
I think that
just
I'll
don't
get
feel
on
like it was
service from
necessary. And, well, it's just because, like, Peter comes back and he's just like, I don't know, I just feel like there was so much more sentiment and him, like, everyone coming back and being excited to see him, and like that was his like final moment. I don't feel like I needed to hear him say, I'm Iron Man. I know who you are. Everyone knows who you are.
But he's not talking to you.
Yeah,
he's
but-
talking to Thanos.
But he knows who that is. Like, it just, for me, it just would
I
have been
don't
more
think
savage
he's
for
talking
him to just...
Thanos.
I
I think
just-
he's talking
to-
again. I think that's one of those where I think he's talking to himself.
Himself. Yeah, I really don't think it was like... It just
Because-
would have been more savage for me if he would have just snapped those fingers and then he just disappeared. Like, for me.
No, he's
I think
talking.
that would be
to
a lot
me,
of character
Iron
to
Man.
me.
Saying,
To
like,
me, saying I am Iron Man is he's sort of had this battle that like this whole time through all the Iron Man movies of if I want to do this anymore, if Pepper doesn't want me to do it, I finally found my family, I don't want to do it anymore. This was his like, I was this I am Iron Man. It was basically I am inevitable in his self sort of classic Tony kind of way.
But I also feel like that was definitely just directed because he just stole the stones from Thanos after he made that statement, and he's looking directly at him, and he's like, "Well, fuck you, I am Iron Man."
No,
Yeah,
yes,
but I
yes.
think that's
Literally,
also
it was
something
directed at Thanos.
Yeah.
but I think it
was for him.
For him.
Yeah.
Like
mean,
Steve-O says, like, he's literally embracing who he is.
He's been fighting
yeah,
that
he's
memory
egotistical, but-
of Thanos and his army and his mind this whole time. So it's like, yeah, it kind of makes sense that he's saying it to Thanos, like, I'm done with you, and then he's saying it to himself, I'm done with this, and this is it.
Just some fan service, though,
just
because
done.
if they had done it without it, it
Glad
was
you
fine.
see my side. It's like only one person.
I see both sides.
One person.
I told y'all I
We have a
am
few more
a
minutes
really
left.
weird person with movies. I told you.
There was some other gripe that I had that I just thought of and I can't remember it. Smurf, did you think about, and you guys, and if you haven't put in yet, what was some real nitpicky gripe that you had about Avengers Endgame? Just anything that didn't quite sit right with you, something that didn't work.
Oh, what's going to happen with Gamora?
Well, she's gonna live happily ever
As
after.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Love Thor joining Guardians of the Galaxy.
No,
No.
Gamora left. Didn't you see
Yeah.
him looking for her?
Gamora's
Gamora's gone.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because
In
when
the
Tony
computer-
when Tony snaps,
He did not watch the last 15 minutes of
Yeah,
film,
he
we've
did not.
determined. So
when Tony snaps, he sends everybody from that time back to that time. That's what he does.
yeah.
And Gamora's from that time.
So Gamora's still dead.
No,
But they
wait,
didn't
no,
show her
wait, no, that's
disappear.
he didn't time travel anybody.
No,
he
he
killed him.
snapped
He
him
just-
away.
he just-
He
he
just
dusted
they're
him.
colored.
He just dusted
Yeah,
Thanos
just-
and his army.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He did kill them.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
dusted him, bro.
So I'm pretty sure Gamora's
Did
still
you
there.
watch the last 15 minutes of the
So
movie?
Gamora's
Gamora should still be there.
Gamora who was like, her last thing was like, wait, this is the guy
That I was in love
and
with.
then
Only Thanos'
she
army.
just jets.
Yeah, and then Star-Lord was looking for her. Like, he had her up on the screen, and that's when Thor walks in. And then, but I was just like, well,
I guess
I
we
wonder
don't know.
where
And-
she's going to go.
She defected whenever Nebula told her about their future self, their sisterhood and her relationship with Quill. So yeah, she was done with Thanos.
Well,
Right.
she was.
I think now she's gonna be struggling.
Well, my understanding of Gamora is that she was always done with Thanos. She never.
Yeah.
Like she was always
But her
trying to find a way
2014
out.
self was
Still pretending to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was still act like she didn't know who she could trust, especially Nebula.
Yeah.
Right. So Nebula had to prove that Gamora just deuced out. She had no emotional connection to anyone anymore. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly right. God, there was something else that stuck out and jumped out at me, and what was it? Oh, this is gonna drive me insane.
Well, those are some sick sandals. Just want to look.
No one gets to see my sandals.
Can we just all talk about that moment where Peter was under that rock and he was like, "Hi, I'm Peter Parker," and I was like, "Yes, you are. You're so cute." That drove me nuts, you guys. He's so adorable. I just love him so much.
He is good.
And then the other day I found out that him and Zendaya are dating, and I was like, "Yes, thank you."
Like IRL?
Yeah, like IRL.
Whoa,
yeah, I know.
that's
Super
awesome.
cute. So I was just really excited.
And she plays Mary Jane in
She doesn't play Mary Jane. I forget what her name is. It's not Mary Jane. She's it's a different universe.
Yeah.
But it's MJ, but it stands for Michelle.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. She plays MJ.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it stands for like
movie's
Michelle
version
something.
of-
I think it's like
okay,
Michelle
yeah.
Jones.
Okay. Right. Yeah, that's what JP's saying as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So, final thoughts then on Endgame. We've ended Phase 3, the last 11 years of movies. Anything that you wished you had gotten that you hadn't gotten, that you wished Endgame had maybe touched upon or could have expanded a little bit more?
Yeah, I feel I don't think I did, but I feel like I missed an Iron Man arc or movie or something, like with Pepper having a suit.
That was in 3.
That was
Okay, that was?
Yeah, that was in 3.
In 3, he made like the bunch of suits.
Because I saw 3. I remember making a bunch of suits.
And gave Pepper a suit, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then he changed the I can't remember where it was, if it was in 3 or if it was maybe in Ultron, where he had he changed the suit from being like a literal suit that you put yourself in and it clamps around you, where like some people could fit and some
nanotech?
people wouldn't, to nanotech, where it's like, now I can throw one at Peter, or I can throw one at Pepper, or I can, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I think he also did that because I think didn't something get inside of his suit and start hacking into him? Or no, it was during Civil War where Ant-Man got inside of his suit and started taking him apart.
Right, yeah.
That's when he switched.
yeah,
That's when he
she's
switched.
Michelle
to
Jones.
Nano.
Thank you, Paul.
I wish that I actually wish that they didn't do time travel at all. And I thought when they confront Thanos at the beginning of the movie,
That was my other gripe.
like I
Now I'm
really
remembering.
wanted, because he's like, oh, the stones are atomic particles now, or whatever, and I was like, oh, brilliant. Ant-Man's gonna somehow put him back together because he can go to that subatomic level and whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like I was like, sweet,
be
you don't have to
interesting.
deal with time travel at all.
So-
Nah, just kidding, we're just gonna time travel.
So I did love the fact that in the first 15 minutes of the film they killed Thanos. Like that to me was like my big shock moment of like, oh fuck, yeah, they didn't even play around. They just got right to it. Sweet. And Thanos having destroyed the stones also makes perfect sense to me. Like I had a thing I had to do. I did the thing. It's too much power, and so I destroyed it. But again, the way that the Ancient One or whatever her name was described it was like, if you destroy those stones, though, doesn't that affect if they're creating time or
but
moving time or holding time together or whatever it is they're doing?
I think that was, and maybe I misunderstood it, but I think that's a misunderstanding of what she was saying on your part. I think what she was saying is that the stones have such a big impact that removing one from a timeline changes that timeline completely. Versus like if you go back in time and pick a daisy, probably not going to change anything. You know what I mean?
It's like, I don't know, I imagine it like materia from Final Fantasy, where it's like just concentrated forms of those essences.
Okay, so I guess the Ancient One's explanation is what we should
I think
revisit,
that
or I
threw
should
a lot
revisit.
of people off.
Because I thought she was saying like, these things that happened at the Big Bang or whatever it was that was described in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, I think. It was like, these are the things that make time happen. So when you move one, it creates a different timeline.
Maybe.
And if you, or it could, make things unstable. So if I give you this, make sure everything gets put back. or something.
Yeah.
So that's
Need to see
my
the movie again. Need to see them all again, I guess.
No, I think they're still in high school in the new Far Away
because
from Home.
Peter
Yeah.
is 5 years younger than everybody that didn't get dusted.
Yeah.
But we don't know who all got dusted.
Some people are saying that the whole, like, all of them got dusted because they don't look much older.
Fuck it, all of them did. That's a fucking move, though.
But they did because his friends saw each other at the end. I figured all of them did.
Right, because they all came back.
Yeah.
Because everyone came back. But
Like, are you talking about like Peter's universe?
Yeah.
But
I
then
thought they
wouldn't
all
have
did.
missed then they wouldn't have missed each other that much. Yeah, no, that
We're
is an
overanalyzing to
inconsistency,
the
I
new
think.
Spider-Man. We'll find that out.
I just feel like they would have missed each other whether they died or not because he was gone. Like he didn't even get to see
we
his
don't
friend.
know.
Yeah.
We'll find
true.
out.
So every time the Russo brothers open their goddamn mouth after the movie, I get more and more upset. Because they're going through and, like, explaining a bunch of stuff. They're like, one of the things they said that pissed me off was, like, here's my meta gripe. It's like, Cap could always move Mjolnir, and the way that we think about it is that when it slid slightly in Ultron, he just didn't pick it up to preserve Thor's ego. I'm like, that's stupid. That was to me, that was the Hammer considering him as being the only one potential of being worthy, and then everything he went through the course of the MCU now has made him
He's worthy.
like
Yeah, I thought
confirm
that too.
his
I like
worthiness,
that.
right?
Yeah.
That's what I like. And so every time, like, we were thinking about this, we were gonna, as they explain a bunch of stuff, I'm like, stop it, don't confirm shit to me.
Yeah. You're just ruining
You're driving me crazy.
Oh, so
Yeah,
he
and-
did survive.
And there are rumors about the mutant thing, but I think that's still going to be a ways down the road because even though Disney, I think, now owns the properties, I think
Only
that
the
the Jean Grey movie or the Phoenix movie coming
It's
out,
different.
like it's still
Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix. I think we're a ways away from that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But if it comes together, I'll be very
So Peter's the only young one?
I can't wait.
Peter's
Like,
the only one in high school?
Isn't give Tony his daughter?
But in Far Away from Home, they're all going on a trip together on a bus. Like they're all going on a trip.
Yeah.
They're all the same.
They're all in the same thing.
They're all in the same grade.
And even when they return, they're in the high school hallway.
Yeah.
So I'm confused on why they would confirm something like that.
Yeah.
Only the friends that returned are high school. The ones who survived are in college. So they're saying that everyone that you would consider everyone that has to do with Peter Parker happened to get dusted in this 50-50 thing.
And everyone else is
And everyone else. And so if they come back in Far From Home and they're like, oh, some of our friends, not friends like movie characters, but, some of the people that we knew are in college, but, we all happen to get dusted, then, okay.
I guess because it would make sense for them to all be
These are theories
dusted.
for
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. Gotta refer later to the new CU, one that includes mutants and Fantastic Four and stuff. So, I don't need X-Men in my MCU.
Well, Steven was great. You were great having you here.
I don't either.
I
don't either.
I think the X-Men, the X-Men universe to me is so, cinematically speaking, is so vast, and there are so many stories to tell in that I don't need them to. It's not that I don't want them to. I just don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Putting the Fantastic Four in the Avengers, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. That's all the cosmic-y shit.
But what would you want them to add in X-Men? Because they already ended Wolverine and Logan's arc. So, like, what more would you want out of the X-Men that they haven't messed up
X-Men.
already?
Anything.
But it just
Anything
was...
X-Men related, I will accept. Where's
But who do you-
where's my Gambit?
But who do you...
So, like, yes, the Gambit movie.
Oh, yeah, don't forget about Gambit. Yeah, get over there.
But
But,
that's-
like, why?
I want X-Men
why?
movies, not about one X-Man.
Man.
I want X-Men movies about the X-Men.
Men.
We have seen so few of them. I think maybe, no, actually,
like
I don't
5
think
or
we've seen
6.
one. I don't think we've seen a single X-Men movie that wasn't about one
First
character.
Class.
Maybe. You
First
could
Class
argue
was
First Class
about
Charles Xavier
And Magneto.
and Magneto.
Yeah, because I thought it was about them.
Yeah.
I thought it was about their
the
past,
X-Men.
not about the X-Men.
But you said not about one character.
Okay.
Like, you're
So not
wanting-
about one character, not about two characters,
wanting to
not
see
about
the-
three
about the
characters,
group.
You're
about
wanting to see
a group.
The X-Men interact with the actual world and their reaction to the X-Men, and not just like about specific characters. Like, you want to see their inner workings with the normal humans and how all that developed.
What I want is the way that Serenity was done, or Firefly was done.
Okay,
Where
yes,
you-
you're being kind of vague there.
You know, no, because if you watch Firefly, Firefly is not about any one character. They
about a
are
group of
all the
characters.
main characters.
So like the way in the movies leading up
You
to
wanna
the
see the
Avengers,
individual ones.
so the movies leading up to the Avengers were individual movies, and the Avengers was about the
about
group.
all
You
of
want
them,
a
yes.
Storm
But
movie,
the
you
X-Men
want a-
movies, I mean, so if you say X-Men Origins Wolverine, and this movie's about Wolverine, okay.
Yeah.
If you want to do, X-Men
now
Origins
Phoenix is coming
Magneto
out.
or Dark Phoenix, okay, this movie's about Dark
might be
Phoenix.
doing that.
But if you call your movie X-Men, if you do an X-Men movie, you don't want a focus on one character. So
Yeah,
it's-
the first X-Men movie was about Wolverine. X-Men 2 was about Wolverine.
yeah.
X-Men 3 was about Wolverine and his relationship with Jean Grey.
Do you not know it's all about Wolverine? How dare you?
And then Wolverine gets
all
his
about
own
Jackman.
movies also. And it's like, so yeah, like, I
You should have just
Jackman.
called them all Wolverine, though.
exactly. That's
And then there's
exactly my
Logan.
point.
Like,
I
there's
want-
really no X-Men.
I want X-Men movies about the group. They're all of their interactions with each other, their interactions with the world. I don't want
Oh,
to
Jubilee
follow
movie would be so
one
good because
character.
I love
Yeah.
her.
An X-Men. Now,
Yeah,
if you want to do
I
spin-offs, then yeah, follow that one character.
Yeah.
Let's follow Wolverine in a Wolverine movie.
X-Men
You
versus
know,
the Avengers.
I was watching a video about how someone was talking about how the X-Men movie sucked specifically because of Wolverine, and how even in their hierarchy of how
Dino's already bought into whatever you're saying.
Cyclops is supposed to be the leader, but and then Wolverine's just supposed to be the renegade hard guy to get to work with the team. And so even in those movies, they made Wolverine the leader and Cyclops the subordinate, and it wasn't. It was more.
We're off on a different. And I'm gonna wrap us up here, but Daniel hates Wolverine for reasons, and that's a podcast, I'm sure. But I did not think the third movie was a good movie, and there are directorial reasons for that.
Yeah.
But the arc of the three films being, the X-Men, and we're telling the story of the X-Men through Wolverine, and him 1 and 2, and that arc becoming a leader, especially after, I don't want to have anything to do with you guys. I don't even know myself. And, okay, now I've learned a little about my past. What kind of person do I want to be? In the absence of Charles and Scott, I guess I am going to have to be the one to step up and do it, and then, potentially having to sacrifice myself and the people that I love to be able to save everybody. Cool. That is a complete arc shift about a character, and, involved, they're still very groupy, but the group became further into the background as it went along.
Because it wasn't there. It was 1, 2, and 3, then Wolverine, and then another Wolverine movie. No.
And then there was the Wolverine,
Then there
and then
Wolverine.
Logan,
And then Logan.
after that.
I
Yeah.
could talk about
And
Wolverine
then
for
we have
literal
the
hours.
first class
So
and whatever.
I like Wolverine.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, I like to be fair, I like the cinematic depiction of Wolverine.
The anime Wolverines.
And the 90s cartoon depiction of Wolverine.
No, legit anime. No, there's Marvel legit made anime. Blade and Wolverine.
Guys, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. This was long and sprawling, so we normally close off and then do some post talk, but this just there was too much to talk about. The last thing that we do before we call it tonight is we go to the can, and this is a Gunners fan can with just random Ask Me Anything. Raven, I think it's been a while since you've one there. Just pull one out. If you guys want to add a question to the fan can, just tweet us at Gunners using hashtag FanCan, or you can redeem nerd cred if you're watching on Twitch.
Oh, this is an interesting one. Nerds, ketchup or mustard?
Neither.
Mustard.
What? Neither what?
I don't like ketchup or mustard.
What do you like?
I don't really like anything. And don't ask me this because the Whataburger people already make me feel bad whenever I ask for a burger dry. They're like, oh, you want it dry? I'm like, yeah. And they're just like, fine, you don't want no cheese? And I'm like, sure, I'll have cheese.
If you're going to guilt me into having cheese,
Like,
that's something.
cheese.
Mayo?
You can come to Daniel. You can come to our
Relish?
couch if you want.
No,
You want to come to our couch, Daniel?
Yeah, I think
we'll let
that's
you
what
in
that
on it. Alex, you can come over here.
I'm mustard.
You got these
I am
psychopaths
both.
sitting over here.
Alex, come over here. Daniel, come over here. You can be by
I'll be
yourself.
the
in
least
this
freak.
burger.
You were mustard.
I'm mustard.
Used to be strictly ketchup, but recently I found myself on specific things actually enjoying mustard.
I like it both.
Yeah.
Like them both?
Like them both?
I do like them both, but if I have to decide,
Because-
if we're having to choose sides in this Civil
No,
War,
you're not-
Ketchup.
then it's going to be ketchup.
There's no Civil War because you're not depicting whether it's going to be spicy ketchup or spicy mustard or stone mustard or
So you can- you
ground
get-
mustard.
Yeah,
You
but
get,
you
the
eating
entire,
mustard powder?
you get the
You
entire,
get the entire
encompassing
oeuvre, yeah.
of either ketchup.
I don't want to lose either.
You have to lose
If
one.
you had to 51% it, if you had to pick one, you had to lose. One of them's about to get snapped out of existence by
There you
Thanos
go.
snap, and you get to choose which
Well,
one.
good thing Ranch will still
ketchup.
be here.
Okay. Okay. You can live without ketchup. You don't think you could live without mustard, honey mustard, stone mustard, dick mustard, cheese, all that stuff that you were saying.
I do think ketchup
I didn't
is
say dick
more-
mustard. You said dick mustard.
Yeah, you did say dick mustard.
That was all you. That was all you.
I like ranch, you guys. I like ranch like a lot.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, there's one.
I like spicy
All right, we
ranch.
figured
Yeah,
out.
that was-
I like
figured out
Thousand
right.
Island.
Why
I
are we
like
so
that.
basic?
Wait, honey mustard. Did
I love
say
honey
that?
mustard.
You
I like
did. I did
spicy
say
honey
that.
mustard.
So you do like mustard.
Is honey mustard actually mustard?
What if you put that on
It's
a burger?
not the same.
Would you enjoy it if it was on a burger?
No, that's
it's not.
nasty.
It's not made out of mustard seeds. I don't think.
It's not.
With honey?
I don't think
I don't know.
so.
Honey mustard
know.
isn't made out of chicken.
We are derailing about our condiments.
So, guys, next week is game night again, and we're going to be playing Worms Battlegrounds. And then the month after that, we're going to play Puzzle Quest, which is the one.
Oh, I'm so
we're gonna do.
excited.
Oh, now you're excited.
This month is Worms
I'm
Battlegrounds.
trying
So
to think about the worms thing. I don't know what that is.
we will
watch a
learn
video.
it, and it'll be great. It's going to be fun.
I'll see if Markiplier has a video. Watching him.
Yeah, do it that way. We appreciate you guys hanging out. Don't forget to follow us if you haven't yet. Share us with someone if you haven't, because we're 7 away from 600.
You guys, I don't hate Coke Zero. I just stopped drinking Coke Zero because I liked it so much. I haven't had an actual soda in like 4 years. So that was just to lose weight.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like soda. I just don't drink it.
Cal, how dare you? But yeah, we'll see you next week for game night. My name is Steve-O,
Corporate cow.
I'm Alex.
Free.
Raven 1.
and we'll see you guys next week.